We are here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Ole!
Hey.
Cuppa with the Queen, and we are having a cuppa, and I would like to introduce you to...
I'm Joanne Palia, and I have been doing SeneGence a little under 2 years, and it's really been great and really changed my life.
So for her to say that is like a huge deal. You don't even understand how big of a deal this is, because she is on an all-inclusive 5-star trip with her husband that she earned after only being a SeneGence distributor for less than 2 years. And that is like amazing. And the reason why I wanted to interview you today is because your story is a story that will connect with a lot of women. And we all have stories. We all have life stories. We all had a past. We all have a present, and we all have a future. So our future is like, we see our future because we're here and we know what we're gonna do in life because we're SeneGence distributors. But our past has brought us to this place. My past brought me to this place. So what about you, Joanne? What happened in your life to get you to a place where you said yes to the opportunity of being a SeneGence distributor?
Okay, well, I'm going to start with...
Would you like me to take your coffee cup?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to start with my mom, a little bit about my mom. She came from Sicily when she was 11.
So she was an immigrant.
She was an immigrant.
Wow.
It was World War II, and
Yes.
so her mom had to travel. She was born in Pennsylvania, her mom, and then at 1 she moved to Sicily. So you couldn't just come in, you had to find a sponsor. So she could come back. So here my mom is 10 years old at the time, and there's 4 girls. So she takes my Aunt Rosalie, who is the oldest, with her. So my mom is raising a 6-month-old, a 4-year-old, and herself.
And she's 10?
She's 10.
Oh my gosh.
So much to the point, a year later, when they're able to come there, that the 6-month-old does not know her mother. She thinks that my mom, 11 at the time, is her mother. So
that's pretty amazing when you think about how what people do to find a better life. And sometimes they have to sacrifice for a short time in order to gain what happens when you do that sacrifice for your family. And your mom was willing to do that, her mom was willing to do that. And your mom, even at 10 years old, realized that it was her responsibility to take care of those kids, right? That's pretty amazing, really.
she's pretty amazing.
Wow.
So she came over, and they had a 1-bedroom for 6 people. So she slept her whole life until she married my dad to this, kind of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, to this way.
Okay.
And she had to drop out of school and high school to pick prunes so that her family can have money. So this was how she was raised.
Yes.
So she taught me, good work ethics,
Yes.
family. And so fast forward to I went to college and I became a teacher. And so I had been teaching, I just retired, would be 30 years this year.
What did you teach? Elementary, high school?
Elementary.
Elementary.
And the most grades being 1st grade, and I ended in kindergarten, which was such a love. But fast forward.
That's what I would want to do if I was a teacher, because I love kids.
They're darling.
Yeah.
So fast forward, COVID hits. And being my age, I'm not really great at technology, and my job is completely different. It goes to Zoom. And we're faced with
How do you Zoom kindergartners? I mean, they can't watch anything for 2 seconds and they lose their track.
And I had 26, so you can
On
fit
Zoom?
25 on a screen, so I had
gosh.
2 screens. Crazy
great.
enough,
That's crazy.
it was great. I mean, one of the things that got me through is I'm very into mindfulness,
Yeah.
meditation, and yoga, and I had taken a class 3 years ago, and all my kindergartners would roll out their yoga mats, would do mindfulness with me and meditation, and it really
And
got
they
me through it.
actually showed up, and they stayed on the Zoom with you?
They were amazing, as
No,
were the parents.
you were amazing, because most teachers, I don't think, were able to do that. So whatever you were doing was keeping them engaged.
It was really
Yeah,
difficult,
that-
but we got through it. At
Yeah.
the time, I noticed my mom, when I started, I noticed my mom forgetting things, which, you know, she's 80, so you think that's normal.
Yeah.
Well, she's always a very kind soul, and she's not so sweet. So her health is going down. I noticed she's in bed all day, and so I took her to the doctor, and she's got some major health issues right now. And another thing I want to say is both my children I had help with, and I had lots of miscarriages, and I lost twin girls. And so during this time of teaching, I said, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, or at least I'm going to be part-time. So my parents, my mom retired early when I had my son. In San Jose, in California, they moved an hour away, right by us. And I was lucky enough to go back to work 1 day a week. But she lost retirement for the rest of her life. And they would drive, because I worked 1 day a week. They'd come on Sunday night. My mom learned to drive when I was 10. She's still never driven on the freeway. So she's never put gas in her car. Anyways, other story, or rode a bike or swam. So she didn't have a lot of opportunities like I did. So for her, they had to move here. So they did. They gave up their friends, and because she can't just drive to see them. So
She gave up her life in order to give to you and your children.
yes, she
And
could
because
not
because
foresee.
family is the most important thing to her.
Yes, always
Yes.
has been. And
Yes.
so these are such gifts, and I'm going to be the one to watch them. So I never worried when I was at school, and I was
Yeah.
lucky to be part-time as long as I
Yes.
was.
Yes.
But now my mom has dementia, and I wasn't really enjoying teaching with Zoom and masks.
It's
And
challenging.
So
Very challenging. Teaching is very challenging.
it's very challenging.
Yes.
Teachers are great. So right before we were on lockdown, this woman would walk by, Lauren, and she'd always comment on my clothes, and I'd comment on the way her skin was glowing. She was supposed to actually do my daughter's makeup for the junior prom,
Oh.
which never happened. So anyways, I started following her. I got an Instagram, and I started trying the products. And honest to goodness, when the 7th person said, what are you doing to your skin?
Because people notice the difference.
They noticed.
Yeah.
So I've always taken very good care, although I was in the sun a lot, of my skin. And I've always used very expensive products. And these were literally half the price of what I was paying. But I was getting results. Like
I
no
mean-
other results. I was so hydrated, and you
Yes.
get this glow.
Yes.
And so what made me sell was I sat down. Erica Santos is now one of my downline. She was my hairdresser, and I sat down, and she said, you can do this. You could sell. You could be there for your mom. And
Yes.
she made a square, which I didn't even know what that was, on my phone. And she said, I'm your first customer. So I still am
Oh.
so grateful to Erica Santos.
Because she encouraged you.
She said, you can do
Yes.
this, and you're going to do this.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yes. So, it took off from there, and now Erica, like me, was buying too many products from me. So she decided
To sign up
she
so that
could
she
sell.
could buy them wholesale.
Yes.
Smart woman.
Yes. Very smart.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how. So now I'm able to take my mom to all her doctor's appointments.
Oh, the freedom that you get from being in direct sales is amazing. It instead of letting your life run, or letting your job or whatever run your life, it's actually you are running your life, and you are choosing when to not to work so that you can do that, because I did that with my mom. When my mom was sick, I did the same thing. I mean, I was in business for myself. So if I had to take her to the doctor, do whatever, go spend time with her, I got to do that. And I thought to myself, how in the world would I be able to do this if I was working a job? I wouldn't have been able to, and neither are you. So it's a real blessing to have that freedom.
It's really nice to have that freedom, and
Yeah.
now I can substitute because I do miss the children. You know, maybe one
You
day a
can, but you
week.
choose when to.
I'm choosing, and when I'm
Yes.
done, I can go home.
Yes.
I'm not taking hours of work with me,
Yes.
and I love sharing because I could never sell anything that I didn't believe in. I'm not a boring salesperson. These products work. And
They
so
work,
I
and
want
so
to
you can actually talk about them with integrity.
I
Because
can.
because you don't have to like feel like you're stealing women's money just to make ends meet, because you know that whatever you're selling them is actually going to make them happy and it's going to work for them. So it makes you feel good, right?
It makes me feel really good.
Yes.
And
yes.
one of the things that I enjoy most about it is teaching.
Teaching the
product
skincare,
knowledge,
product knowledge,
science behind
because
it.
you're a teacher.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so
I love
much.
your story, and I'm so glad you get to spend time with your mom in her last years, because that's so important. Because I got to with my mom, and I'm telling you, family's everything. And when you get to spend time with your family because you have a business that actually allows you to, it's everything.